for Tange's family. We thank you for Georgia. We thank you for everybody that showed out and showed up to make sure Tange found justice. We thank you for the gathering, God. We thank you for her co-workers. We thank you for everybody in St. Louis that live in Georgia that came out. We truly appreciate that, God, and we ask in your precious name that the family receives comfort, that the family is not so overwhelmed while they're trying to handle business. We're asking that the right people step in, that the right finances come through for her son and his family.
When your family member goes missing, you don't wait for permission. You get in the car and you go. That's exactly what Tangee Davis's family did. Packed up, left St. Louis, drove 7 hours straight to Georgia because a 44-year-old registered nurse doesn't just disappear. Not without her phone. Not without telling somebody. And definitely not when she's got a boyfriend with a criminal record, long as a CVS receipt and a domestic violence case still pending. Period. This is the story of how a family had to become detectives because the system told them to be patient. And patience? That's what got Tange killed. You already know where you at. This is Shadowed Crimes TV, where we break every case down. Let me tell you about Tangee Davis Hootie, born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, 44 years old, registered nurse. The type of woman who brought cupcakes to work, sent good morning texts to her kids every single day, and actually believed helping people was her purpose. She wasn't just clocking in and clocking out. Nursing was her calling. She'd seen enough sickness, enough struggle, enough suffering in St. Louis that she decided she wanted to heal people, body and soul. Her coworkers loved her, her patients loved her, her family, they adored her. Mother, grandmother. The kind of grandmother who was excited about paying her grandson's school tuition, talking about it all week like it was the best thing in the world. That's who Tange was. But like a lot of women who get tired of the same environment, the same energy, Tange wanted something new, a fresh start. So she packed up her nursing license, her faith, and her dreams and moved to Atlanta, Georgia, the land of opportunity, right? New job, new city, new chapter, except Atlanta had other plans. Because while Tange came looking for peace, she found Cecil McCrea. And girl, let me tell you something, Cecil was a walking red flag with a smile. 56 years old. Criminal past longer than a pharmacy receipt. We're talking abuse, control, violence. This man had a history and it wasn't hidden. His exes, they ran and never looked back. That's how bad it was. But Tange, she tried to be different. She tried to make it work. And when the abuse started, because it always starts, she did what women are told to do. She called the police, had him arrested, went on record. October 2024, Cecil McCrea was charged with aggravated assault and kidnapping. Kidnapping. You hear me? This man kidnapped Tangee Davis, and the courts charged him. There were multiple domestic violence reports, multiple calls to the police. By all logic, she should have been protected. She should have been the survivor in this story. But here's where it gets complicated. Here's where love, loneliness, hope, whatever you want to call it, dragged her back. Because by September 2025, Tange wasn't just talking to Cecil again. She was living with him again, back in his house in Mableton, Georgia. Maybe she thought he'd changed. Maybe she missed the version of him that didn't put his hands on her. Maybe she believed God had softened his heart. We'll never know. What we do know, going back to Cecil McCrea was the worst decision of her life. Now, let's talk about what the system did, or better yet, what it didn't do. October 2024, Cecil gets arrested for aggravated assault and kidnapping Tange. He's charged, there's a court order. Stay away from Tangee Davis. Do not contact her. Do not go near her. That's the law, right? That's supposed to keep her safe. Cecil bonded out 2 months later, December 2024. He's walking free. Case still pending. No trial yet, just out, living his life. And somehow by September 2025, Tange is back in his house, back in his space, back in danger. The no contact order violated. But nobody stepped in. Nobody stopped it. The system that was supposed to protect her just let it slide. Now I'm not here to judge Tange for going back. Going back to an abuser is not weakness. It's complicated. It's trauma. It's hope. It's isolation. It's 1,000 things that people on the outside will never fully understand. Women go back an average of 7 times before they leave for good, if they survive long enough to leave at all. But what I will judge, the system that knew Cecil was dangerous, had him on record for kidnapping and assault, and still let him walk around free, still let him be near her. Make it make sense, because here's what happened next. October 9th, 2025. Thursday evening, Tange stops answering her phone. Now for most people, that might not be alarming right away. But Tange, she was the type to check in multiple times a day. Didn't matter what time it was. She reached out to her son, to her daughter-in-law, to her grandbaby. Every morning like clockwork, they'd get a text. Good morning, love you. October 9th, nothing. October 10th, still nothing. And this wasn't just any Friday. This was the day Tange was supposed to help pay her grandson's tuition at his new school. She'd been talking about it all week, excited, proud. She wasn't the type to just not show up, especially not for this. Her son tried calling, no answer. Sent texts, delivered but not read. He checked her location, because thank God for technology, and saw that her phone was off, or dead, or something. That's when the panic set in. He used OnStar to track her car, a silver Chevrolet Equinox, and guess where it was? Sitting in a grocery store parking lot on Floyd Road in Mableton, Georgia. Doors locked, engine cold, and here's the kicker. Her purse was still inside. Now let me tell you something. A black woman does not leave her purse in her car and just disappear. That's not how we move. We keep our purse, our phone, our keys. That's survival. So when her son pulled up to that parking lot and saw her car just sitting there, abandoned with her belongings inside, and no sign of his mama, he knew something was terribly wrong. He called the police, Cobb County Police Department, told them everything. His mother is missing. Her car is here, but she's not. She didn't show up to work. And for a nurse, a no-call, no-show is serious. She's not answering her phone. This isn't like her. You know what the police said? We need you to wait 48 hours before we can officially file a missing persons report. 48 hours, 2 whole days. While a woman with a documented history of being abused by her boyfriend is missing. While her car sits in a random parking lot. While her family is 7 hours away, losing their minds. Girl, her son wasn't about to just sit around. He called the family back in St. Louis, told them what was happening, and that's when Tange's stepsister, Bashelle Hendris, said, "We're not waiting, we're coming now." Within hours, Bashelle and other family members jumped in their cars and drove 7 hours straight through from St. Louis to Mableton, Georgia. No hesitation, because that's what you do. You don't wait for the system to care. You go get your people. When they arrived, they went straight to the police, gave them all the information. Tange's boyfriend is Cecil McCrea. Here's his address. She was staying with him. He has a history. He's been arrested for assaulting her before. There's an active case, a no-contact order that he violated. You need to check his house. And the police? They told the family the same thing they told her son. Wait, we have protocols. We have procedures, 48 hours. But here's what the family knew that the police didn't seem to care about. Tangee worked in the medical field. In healthcare, you don't just not show up. You don't no call, no show. That's not how it works. The fact that she missed work, missed helping with her grandson's tuition, missed sending her daily texts, that was the reddest of red flags. So the family did what they had to do. They started their own search. They went to Cecil's house, knocked on the door, asked to come in, to look around, to see if Tangee was there. And Cecil? Oh, he was calm, cooperative even. He told them Tangee had been at his house the night she disappeared, but she'd left. He even showed them security footage of her walking out his front door. See, that's the thing about men like Cecil. They know how to play the part. They know how to seem helpful, concerned, innocent. But the family wasn't buying it. Michelle pulled out her phone and went live on social media. She started recording everything. The house, the neighborhood, the route from Cecil's house to where Tangee's car was found. And y'all, when I tell you the inconsistencies were glaring. Okay y'all, I really need y'all to go live for this. Michelle said, camera pointed at Cecil's house. My St. Louis people, we out here in Atlanta, Georgia. One of us have gone missing. The boyfriend won't let us in the house. We have the police out here and the police will not do anything until the detectives decide to make a case. She flipped the camera to show the house. A nice neighborhood, clean streets, good houses. And yet a woman was missing and nobody with a badge seemed to be in any rush to find her. Michelle didn't stop recording. She couldn't because somebody needed to document what was happening. Somebody needed to show the world that a black woman was missing, and the people who were supposed to help were telling her family to wait. So she kept going live, kept posting, kept pushing.
Okay, y'all. I really need y'all to go live for this. My St. Louis people, we out here in Atlanta, Georgia. One of our eyes have gone missing. The boyfriend won't let us in the house. We have the police out here, and the police will not do anything until the detectives decide to make a case. I'm gonna flip this camera around so that y'all can see this house. We are looking. Y'all, please share this video. This is what the house looked like, y'all. I don't even know where I am. I just know that I'm in Atlanta. What is the name of this street? What's the name of this street? Woodward. And y'all, we somewhere out here close to Atlanta. This is what the house looks like, y'all. We looking everywhere, in the woods, everywhere. I need y'all to share this. Please share this. This is one of our own from St. Louis, Missouri. Please share this. We are looking for Tangee. This is unlike her. Her car has been found, and she is not in it. Her purse was in it. Y'all, we need y'all to share this. We need y'all to share this. Please share this. This is one of our own. I have pulled up from South Carolina, me and my sister, her sister here from St. Louis. Y'all, please share this. Something is not right.
They drove through the neighborhood. Nice houses lined both sides of the street. This wasn't some sketchy area. This was a decent neighborhood. Middle class, quiet. And then less than 2 minutes later, they pulled into the parking lot where Tangee's car had been found. That's how fast we are around this corner. Michelle said, almost in disbelief. Look, okay y'all, see, there's the light coming up right here. Now we're about to make a left into this parking lot. The car came into view. That silver Chevrolet Equinox, still sitting exactly where her son had found it. Police were already there, processing the scene. So y'all can see the police is right here. There's the car, Michelle continued. Now does that look like somebody's going to the grocery store that is all the way over there? Nobody is parking their car in the middle of the night over here to go to the grocery store all the way over there. That is very dangerous. So this is not making sense at all. Okay? This is not making sense in this type of neighborhood. And she was right. The grocery store was on the other side of the parking lot. Far. If Tange had really been going to the store, why would she park her car way out there, in the dark, away from the entrance? It made no sense. But here's what made even less sense. Someone had come forward and told the family they heard a scream that night, when the car was being parked. A scream. But they didn't want to get involved. Didn't want to call the police. And Bashel understood why. When you have people that do see things, God forbid they have a record, or anything like that, guys, they're not going to come forward. She explained. I wouldn't come forward either. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to jail. But do understand, we know that something is going wrong here. That's the reality. In a lot of communities, people don't trust calling the police. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to become a suspect themselves. So they stay quiet. And women like Tange, they stay missing. The family kept searching, drove back to Cecil's house, knocked on the door again. And this time they noticed something that made their blood boil. Cecil had roofers on his roof, working, hammering, fixing shingles, like it was just a regular day. Like his girlfriend wasn't missing. Like her family wasn't driving around desperately trying to find her. So y'all see, this man got roofers up here, as if like his girlfriend not missing. Bashel said, camera pointed up at the roof. This is crazy. Who does that? Who has construction work done on their house, while their girlfriend is missing? Most people would be out searching, calling hospitals, posting flyers, losing their mind with worry. But Cecil, he was getting his roof fixed. Moving on, the family met with police again, tried to explain the urgency, tried to make them understand that every hour that passed was an hour Tange could be in danger. But the response was the same: policies, procedures. Wait, the police have standards. They have standard operating procedures. They have policies and things that they have to follow. Bashel said in another video, exhausted. Y'all already know it takes 48 hours to report an adult. Anything could have happened in them 48 hours. Then they're telling us 3 to 10 business days before they get somebody to do anything. 3 to 10 business days. Let that sink in. A woman is missing. Her boyfriend has an active domestic violence case against him, and the family is being told it could take up to 10 days before detectives even start investigating. But hey, the family didn't come this far to sit around and wait. They printed flyers, hundreds of them. Tange's face, her description, last seen, contact information. They went to local businesses, posted them on street lights, handed them out to anyone who would take one. And the community started to pay attention. People shared the posts, called in tips, spread the word, because that's what happens when the system fails. People step up. But then the police told the family something that made them want to scream. They were told to stand down, to stop searching, because apparently their efforts were interfering with the investigation. Interfering. The family was interfering by looking for their own loved one while the police did nothing. We respect what the detectives and everything are trying to do. Bashel said, voice strained. We do. We respect that. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to cause no trouble or anything like that. But we cannot not look for our family. One of the male family members got upset, understandably, and was threatened with being put in the back of a police car. For what? For being emotional about his missing family member. For asking questions. It's not like he was being threatening or anything like that. Bashel explained. But one thing about it, people need to understand. Us from St. Louis, we talk fast. Like we can't help it. That's just how we talk. We talk very fast. And with a situation like this, we're going to get very passionate. You know what I'm saying? Not aggressive. We're going to be passionate. But passion gets read as aggression when you're black. Concern gets read as hostility. And suddenly the family trying to find their missing loved one becomes the problem. So what? They were just supposed to sit in a hotel room and wait. Wait while the man who'd already been arrested for kidnapping Tange once before walked around free. Wait while he got his roof fixed and played innocent. Nah, they kept going, kept posting, kept searching. Because at the end of the day, if they didn't fight for Tangee, who would? By October 15th, 2025, 6 days after Tangee went missing, 6 days of searching, praying, hoping against hope that she'd walk through a door somewhere, confused but alive. And then Cecil McCrea walked into an interview with detectives and said the words that shattered everything. He confessed. He admitted to killing Tangee Davis, said he strangled her, said he buried her body in Atlanta, gave them the location. Cobb County investigators contacted Atlanta Police Department. They went to the spot Cecil described, and they found her.
Cobb County police say a man has confessed to killing his girlfriend. Tangee Davis was last seen by family members last Thursday. Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Maple tonight. Denise, that man apparently had a violent history.
Yeah, that's right. A year ago, Cecil McCrary was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and kidnapping Tangee Davis. He bailed out about 2 months later, and tonight he is charged with her murder. Missing person signs of Tangee Davis can be seen across Mapleton. They were posted by worried family members desperate to find her. Davis had last been seen by her family October 9th. Her son told investigators he found her car in this parking lot on Floyd Road. Cobb County Police issued an alert Tuesday saying the Major Crimes Unit was trying to find the 45-year-old and determine the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. They asked for the public's help, hoping someone with information would come forward. A day later, investigators delivered the devastating news that no one wanted to hear. Tangee Davis was dead. Police say during an interview with Davis's boyfriend, 56-year-old Cecil McCrary, he admitted to killing Davis and burying her body in Atlanta. Cobb investigators worked with APD. They went to the location McCrary gave them and discovered Davis's body. In a statement, Cobb Police Chief Dan Farrell said, "Our hearts are with her family, and we're reminded that behind every statistic is a person, a mother, a friend, a colleague whose life mattered."
Tangee Davis, 44 years old, registered nurse. Mother, grandmother, gone. Bashelle went live one more time. This time her voice was different, broken, exhausted, grief-stricken.
Greetings, everybody. I hope that everybody can hear me. It's unfortunate that Tange has been found deceased. There was a confession. She was strangled and buried nowhere near where we are. She was already gone. She was gone Thursday. He staged everything. He did confess. I can't say much more because there's an ongoing, I'm sorry for my lips. I've been talking, crying. I'm sorry. There's an ongoing investigation, so there's not much I can say. But I will say this, as a community, y'all came together very well, and I really appreciate it. Everything that everybody was saying was true. Some of y'all even told us where to go look, and yeah. There's so much more that I want to say in regards to abusive relationships, but now is not the time. If you go to my Rooted Room Woman page, I have a private group for women, and I encourage you to go ahead on and head to that page and get invited, because as women we do need to talk about some things. This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. So, guys, the family is very, I don't know what to say. I just want to thank y'all for, I want to thank y'all just so much. Because, baby, when I tell y'all, y'all showed out, and this is how you find a missing person. You just keep telling, you keep sharing, you keep sharing, you keep sharing. At the end of the day, families just want peace. They just want to know where their loved ones are. And let me tell you something. You guys definitely came through. Please keep the family in your prayers. Thank you.
All those days of searching, she was already gone. All those hours of hope, wasted. Not because the family didn't try, but because Cecil had already taken her life and spent the next 6 days pretending to be concerned. He staged everything. The security footage of her leaving his house, probably from a different day. The calm demeanor, an act. The roofers on the roof, a distraction. He knew exactly where she was the entire time, because he put her there. He did confess, Bashel continued. I can't say much more because there's an ongoing investigation, but I will say this, as a community, y'all came together very well and I really appreciate it. The family had been right from the beginning. Every instinct, every suspicion, every moment they said something's not right. They were right, but being right doesn't bring her back. Cecil McCrea, 56 years old, was taken into custody and charged with murder. The same man who'd been arrested for aggravated assault and kidnapping just a year earlier. The same man who'd bonded out and violated a no-contact order. The same man who the system allowed to walk free despite multiple domestic violence calls to his home. Now he was in handcuffs. Finally.
In the past hour, Cecil McCrary faced a judge accused of murder. Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Cobb County tonight. Denise, we first learned about McCrary's arrest and the death of Tangee Davis yesterday.
Yes, and tonight we learned that McCrary had 3 separate arrest warrants against him. We have video of that hearing that happened within the last hour. McCrary was wearing a green safety smock, his hands cuffed, as Judge John Strauss explained the charges against him. The first warrant was for the theft of Tangee Davis's car and phone. The second for concealing her body. Remember, police said he told them after killing Tangee Davis, he buried her body in Atlanta. And the third warrant was for aggravated assault and murder.
Murder is a felony charge. Has to do with the making an assault against Tangee Davis Hootie with your hands, which resulted in strangulation, which resulted in the death of Mr. Tangee Davis Hootie. Do you understand that charge?
No, I do not.
Or what don't you understand about it?
It's not true.
Not true is what he said. The judge denied him bond on the charges, but since magistrate judges cannot give a bond on a murder charge, McCrary will appear before a Superior Court judge November 12th to determine if he will get a bond on the murder charge. And I will add that before the hearing even started, the judge asked McCrary if it was okay if the media recorded the hearing. McCrary said he did not want to be recorded. The judge overruled him. Reporting live in Cobb County, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
All right, Denise, thanks for the latest there.
A mother, a friend, a colleague whose life mattered, a statistic. That's what Tangee became. Another number in the long list of women killed by their partners. Another case file, another headline that'll fade in a week. But to her family, she was everything. She was the woman who sent good morning texts, who brought cupcakes to work, who was excited about paying her grandson's tuition, who believed in second chances, even when she shouldn't have. Court documents painted a picture nobody wanted to see, but everyone needed to know. October 2024, Cecil had been arrested for aggravated assault and kidnapping Tangee. He bonded out 2 months later. By September 2025, despite a no-contact order, Tange had moved back into his home. Police had responded to multiple domestic violence calls at that address. Multiple calls, multiple chances to intervene, multiple opportunities to protect her. And yet, nothing stuck. Nothing stopped him. At a press conference, Tange's family stood together, grief etched on their faces. One family member spoke directly to the camera. "I just want the ladies, the women who have gone through abuse with him to make this case stronger. Please come forward." Because apparently even in death, Tange needed other victims to validate her suffering, needed other women to be brave enough to speak up so that her killer could be held fully accountable. Michelle had one message for everyone watching: just be aware of what's going on. If you got a feeling, go with it. Trust your gut, check on your people. Don't wait, don't assume they're okay. Don't think it won't happen to us. So here we are, another woman dead, another family destroyed, another case that makes you want to scream at the TV, at the system, at the world, because how does this keep happening? Tangee Davis Hootie did everything right. Let me say that again for the people in the back. She did everything right. She called the police when Cecil got violent. She had him arrested. She went on record. She participated in the prosecution. She got a no-contact order. She did what every domestic violence advocate, every lawyer, every well-meaning friend tells women to do when they're being abused. And she still ended up dead. That's the part that haunts you, because if doing everything right doesn't save you, then what does? How are women supposed to protect themselves when the system designed to protect them moves slower than the danger they're in? October 2024, Cecil gets arrested for aggravated assault and kidnapping. Kidnapping. That's not a slap. That's not a push. That's forcibly taking someone against their will. That's serious. This man is dangerous. Serious. He bonds out 2 months later, case still pending, and by September 2025, he's living with Tange again. The no-contact order? Violated. But nobody checked. Nobody followed up. Nobody said, hey, we need to make sure this woman is safe. Police responded to multiple domestic violence calls at that house. Multiple. Which means neighbors heard something, officers came out, reports were filed, and yet Cecil McCoria was still walking around free, still had access to Tange, still had the opportunity to kill her. Make it make sense. You can't. Because it doesn't. This is what people don't understand about domestic violence. It's not just about the abuser. It's about the system that enables him. The courts that let him bond out, the prosecutors who don't prioritize the case, the police who respond to calls but don't arrest, the judges who issue no-contact orders but don't enforce them. It's about a society that tells women to leave but doesn't give them the protection they need to stay gone. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud: leaving is the most dangerous time. Statistically, a woman is most likely to be killed when she's trying to leave or has just left an abusive relationship. That's when the abuser realizes he's losing control. And for men like Cecil, losing control is unacceptable. Tange tried to leave. She got him arrested. She moved on with her life. But somehow, some way, she ended up back with him. Maybe she thought he changed. Maybe he apologized. Maybe he cried and begged and promised he'd never hurt her again. Maybe she was lonely. Maybe she missed the good times. Maybe she thought she could help him. It doesn't matter why she went back. What matters is that when she did, the system should have stepped in. The system should have said, no, this man violated a court order, and there will be consequences. But instead, the system shrugged and said, wait, 48 hours when she went missing. 48 hours. 2 whole days. While Tange's body was already buried in Atlanta, and Cecil was playing the concerned boyfriend, showing police security footage, and getting his roof repaired. Her family knew. From day one, they knew something was wrong. They didn't need 48 hours. They didn't need detectives to investigate. They knew, and they drove 7 hours to prove it. Michelle Hendricks and the rest of Tangee's family became the detectives the police should have been. They found the car, they documented the inconsistencies, they went live on social media and showed the world exactly what was happening. They refused to be quiet, refused to wait, refused to let Tangee become just another missing black woman that nobody looked for. And even then, even with all that effort, all that love, all that determination, they were too late. Because Cecil had already killed her. That's what breaks your heart. Not that the family didn't try. They did everything humanly possible. But a family shouldn't have to be detectives. A family shouldn't have to print their own flyers, conduct their own search, go live on social media, just to get people to care. That's the system's job. And the system failed. Now Tangee's son has to live with the fact that his last conversation with his mother was probably ordinary, probably routine. He'll never get to tell her he loves her one more time. He'll never get to thank her for being the kind of mother who showed up, who cared, who made sure her grandson got into a good school. Her grandson, he'll grow up knowing his grandmother was murdered, that she was supposed to help pay his tuition, but instead, she was being strangled and buried by a man who claimed to love her. Her co-workers, they'll remember the cupcakes she brought, the shifts she covered, the patients she cared for with compassion and skill. And they'll wonder how someone so full of life, so dedicated to healing others, ended up dead at the hands of someone who was supposed to protect her. This case should make you angry. It should make you question everything. Because if a registered nurse with a supportive family, a good job, and the courage to report her abuse can still end up murdered, then what hope do other women have? Women who don't have family that'll drive 7 hours to find them. Women who don't have the resources to leave. Women who've been isolated from everyone they know. Women who are too scared to call the police because they've seen what happens when the system doesn't follow through. Tangee's story is a reminder that domestic violence doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're educated. It doesn't matter if you have a career. It doesn't matter if you're a good person who goes to work and takes care of your family. It can still happen to you. And more importantly, it's a reminder that the system is broken, fundamentally, deeply broken, because protective orders are only as good as the enforcement behind them. And when a man can violate a no-contact order, live with the woman he's not supposed to be near, and face 0 consequences, that piece of paper is worthless. People love to ask, why didn't she just leave? But the real question is, why are we not asking why he didn't stop? Why are we putting the responsibility on the victim to escape instead of on the abuser to not abuse? Why are we telling women to change their lives, uproot their children, leave their homes, quit their jobs, hide from someone who's supposed to love them, instead of telling men to keep their hands to themselves? And when women do leave, when they do everything right, why isn't the system there to back them up? Tangee Davis deserved better. She deserved to grow old. She deserved to see her grandson graduate. She deserved to dance at family gatherings and send good morning texts for decades to come. She deserved to live. Instead, her life was cut short by a man with a history of violence, a pattern of abuse, and a system that didn't care enough to stop him. So what do we do now? We say her name, Tangee Davis Hati. We tell her story. We make sure she's not just another statistic, another headline that fades in a week. We check on our sisters, our daughters, our mothers, our friends. We pay attention when something feels off. We don't accept excuses like they're just having a rough time or it's complicated. We ask the hard questions. We offer support. We believe women when they tell us they're scared. And we demand better from the system. We demand that no contact orders mean something. We demand that domestic violence cases get prioritized. We demand that when a woman goes missing and her boyfriend has an active assault case against him, police don't tell the family to wait 48 hours. We demand accountability for Cecil McCrea, yes, but also for every system that failed Tange, every bond hearing that let him out, every missed welfare check, every time police responded to that house and didn't remove him, every day that no contact order was violated and nobody did anything about it. Tange's family is left with memories and unanswered questions. Michelle is left with those videos, a permanent record of her desperation, her frustration, her love for her sister. The community that rallied around them is left with the bitter knowledge that even when people care, even when they show up, sometimes it's not enough. But here's what I need y'all to understand. Tange's family did not fail her. The community did not fail her. The system failed her. And until we fix that system, until we make it clear that violence against women will not be tolerated, will not be excused, will not be allowed to continue unchecked, this will keep happening. Another woman will go missing. Another family will drive across state lines searching for answers. Another man with a criminal history will be out on bond, free to hurt the woman he claims to love. And another story like Tange's will end in a confession and a burial site. Period. Rest in peace. Tangee Davis Hati. You deserved so much better than this. Your life mattered. Your story matters. And we won't forget you. This has been Shadowed Crimes TV. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Share Tange's story. Keep her memory alive. And if you or someone you know is in a dangerous situation, speak up. Don't wait. Don't hope it'll get better on its own, because sometimes tomorrow doesn't come. National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. Available 24/7. You don't have to face this alone. Stay safe out there. And remember, check on your people, trust your gut, and never ever stop fighting for the ones you love. Until next time.